Okay, both kids are sleeping. Let's talk about my winter knitting plans. Some of these plans are based on the yarn I have and patterns I think that would go good with them. Some of these plans are based on necessity, and then other plans are just like, I like the vibe of these patterns and want to make something with a similar vibe. Let's start with the patterns that I'm pretty sure I will for sure be making. First up is the Arctic Light Sweater by Veronica Lindberg. And this sweater is a beautiful cabled sweater. I've never done anything like it before. I just finished my first sweater actually, so I don't even have that much experience with sweaters in general. This will be my first raglan sweater as well, but I think it just looks so pretty. I do have the yarn for it already. I'm holding this yarn. It's the Briggs & Little Regal line, 2-ply 100% pure wool. The color is bleached white. And I'm holding that with some Drops Kid Silk Mohair. And this is just their color 01. I think it was white or off-white maybe. And this is, where's the percentages? 75% mohair, 25% silk. So I have all the yarn for it. I'm for sure gonna try this one. It's so pretty. I don't have anything like it, and I think it'll be really fun to knit. Another thing that I will for sure be knitting, I'm not exactly sure on which pattern it'll be, but I want to knit some sort of bow using mohair, whether that is something like the December bow by Petite Knit. I'm also looking at the Augustine's number 22 bow by Augustine's or Sophie Ann Velling. That one, both of those are a mohair and a fingering weight yarn held together. So whether it's something like that, or I was also looking at the Mohair Bows pattern by Millie Murphy. And that one, I'm kind of leaning towards that one because it's just mohair. They have an option for single strand bow, a double stranded mohair bow, and a triple stranded bow. I want something that isn't too big. What I want is to tie it up in my hair, like for Christmas Eve or something like that. Something festive, I'm thinking. Something fuzzy, fluffy, red is what I want to do it in. I have a whole bunch of little bits of mohair, not like full balls of it. So I wanted to find a project that didn't use too much because I have just like little bits of mohair that aren't the same color. They're all different. So I'm hoping to do some sort of mohair bow. Something small, but it's like, I don't know, really festive and cute in your hair. I usually wear my hair like half up, half down. So I think that'd be really fun. I also am fairly certain that I'm going to knit a balaclava for myself. I'm looking at the Balaclava number 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And this is supposed to be knit with a light fingering plus lace, like a fingering plus mohair held together to make a DK weight yarn. But I'm thinking I have this yarn. It is the, I don't know if this is Paytons or Petons, 100% pure new wool. It's quite old. I don't know if you can find it anymore, but it is in the color cherry, and it's a DK weight yarn, I'm pretty sure. 192 meters for 100 grams. So I'm thinking that I can do a balaclava this pattern without the mohair and just using this yarn. I think I just got a wool coat and it's like a dark green color. Actually kind of similar to this maybe. And for some reason, I think that a red balaclava, and I might have enough of this yarn to do the balaclava plus like a pair of mittens or something. I don't know, I think that'd be really fun. Of course, it'd be Christmassy, but I think it'd look really, I don't know, really like pop or something. The last thing that I'm like 90% sure I'm gonna make is the very classic sweater by Freya. And I wanna make this for my son. It is a sweater that has some texture on it. And the thing that made me choose this pattern is that it calls for air and weight yarn. And I have a whole bunch of this yarn that I want to use. This is the Briggs & Little Tuffy yarn. It's made of 80% wool and 20% nylon. And it is, I think, technically air and weight. It's pretty thick. This color is called Blue Mix, color number 92. It's quite thick. If you recall, I made some mittens for my son with this, holding this with, I think a sport weight yarn. So it was really thick, and I think it would do better on its own in a sweater maybe. I didn't love how the mittens turned out. So I want to try it just on its own in a sweater. I like that this yarn has some nylon in it to make it a bit stronger, especially for a toddler to wear. The other thing that made me want to choose this pattern is that it's free. The only thing that I don't love about it from the picture is I don't know if I'm in love with the neckline of it. I might modify that. It looks just a little wide, although you don't want it to be uncomfortable going over their heads. So I'll decide later. Those are some of the things that I already have the yarn for and that I would really like to make this winter. The next category is necessity. And there's really only, I think, one thing that is like, okay, I have to make this. And that is mittens for my daughter. She has a pair of mittens, but they're getting too small. And she just turned 1. I think she'd still be okay with just the mittens that go over the whole hand and not like with a thumb. So I'm looking at the baby mittens pattern by Priscilla Uloho. And I believe this is, it's a free pattern. And it's just a basic, there's a cuff and then like a mitten that goes over the whole hand. I do want to attach it with a cord so it can go like in her coat and they won't fall off out in the snow. That is my necessity knit that I actually should be doing pretty soon because her mittens are getting too small that she has now. Next category is things that I want to make if I have time / I might already have yarn for. The first one is the Cumulus Tee by Petite Knit. I have the pattern for it. I have the yarn for it. The thing that's stopping me from making it is because it's not held with a mohair. I just have, it calls for knitting for all of pure silk, but I have the knitting for all of merino. Because it's not held with a mohair, I'm worried that the pieces that are made flat, so you work the right side, wrong side, right side, wrong side. I'm worried that there will be a bit of issues with my gauge and tension because I noticed a bit of that in the sweater that I just finished, the Wednesday sweater, that the parts that were knit flat, it wasn't so noticeable that it was like, you could totally tell that like my purl side was way looser or something. It wasn't that, it was more, it just looked a little more bumpy than just like the straight stockinette and the round. So I don't know, that's what's holding me back from knitting this. And the fact that it is all in fingering weight, like a whole garment in fingering weight. So I know probably take me a while. So that's something that obviously I was excited a while ago because I have everything to do it, but now I'm not so excited. We'll see if the inspiration comes back later. Something else I want to try are another pair of socks that are a bit more textured. I'm looking at doing something like the Nutmeg Socks by Tanya Barley. Something that's just like, it's simple, but it's got a little bit of something, so it's not just a plain stockinette sock or a ribbed sock, something a little bit different. I think this sock looks fun. And this pattern is free, which is great. I would love to make some sort of tights or pants for my daughter. I'm thinking about doing the Olive's ribbed leggings from Knitting for Olive. Something that will, the main thing is that I want something that'll stay up. I don't want her pants or her tights to keep falling down. So I like that it's ribbed because then it has that extra like tightness around, it'll be around her legs. I think that would be really cute. I don't currently have the yarn for this. I think I gotta look at a few more options for baby tights or baby pants before I decide what pattern, but something like that. I think also making a top, like a shirt to go with the pants would be really cute, and she would have like a whole knit outfit. I'm thinking about doing the leaf tunic again from Knitting for Olive. Again, I don't have the yarn for this yet, but I think it would look really cute with the pants. Something that I'm really interested in trying is felting, specifically felted slippers. I'm looking at doing the Winter Sprite felted slippers by Drops. This is a free pattern, and basically you knit like a really big slipper, throw it in the washing machine, throw it in the dryer, and then like mold it to your foot almost. And then you have a felted slipper, which is much more durable, I think, than just like a knitted slipper. Our house gets pretty cold, especially the floors. They get quite cold in the winter, and I would love to, I have some good slippers, but my kids don't have good slippers, and they don't love keeping socks on. If they don't love keeping socks on, they're probably not going to love keeping slippers on, but I want to try them and see how it goes. I don't have any experience felting things, at least on purpose. I did accidentally felt a pair of socks that were that my grandmother made, so that was disappointing when they came out of the dryer and they were like 10 times smaller than they were when they went in. You live and learn. The last thing that I'm like, if I have time, I would really love to do this. And actually the pattern's not out yet. It is the blanket that Laura Penrose is currently working on. It will be the same sort of style or pattern as her, is it the Stella quilt cushion? The pattern that she just came out with that has like it looks like a quilt pattern on like a cushion. And she's making a blanket pattern out of that. I would love to start a blanket with that pattern whenever it comes out. I'm also looking at her Sweet Shop blanket for getting rid of a bunch of scraps. That's what this blanket is known for, is like helping you get rid of a bunch of scraps. That's what it's designed for. So I'm also thinking of, I'm thinking of doing one or the other. I don't know if I would do both, if I would start both this winter, but I do have a whole bunch of yarn in one color, like in a greeny color. And I think that color as like the star quilt pattern shapes, and then having white as like the background color would look really beautiful in a blanket. And it would be a good way to use up that yarn that I've had for a long time. But the pattern's not out yet, so I'll have to wait and see what it's like. The last kind of category of this winter knitting plans that I have are just kind of like vibes. I like the vibes of these patterns, and I want to make something with the same vibe. I obviously won't be able to do all of these patterns, but maybe choosing one or finding something with a similar sort of style. That is kind of what I'm going for. And what I'm kind of shocked because this is not my style at all, but things that have been catching my eye recently are like things that have bows and like frills and not so much lace, but like, I don't know, like frilly details on them. Things like the Ranuncle pullover by Sophie and Velling or Augustins. The Augustins #1 top, Sophie and Velling. She has a lot of these, like, they're just beautiful. There's like ruffles and like not pleats, but like almost like peplum style. I don't know, it's just like, it's so fun and flowy and it looks soft. What else? Augustine's #16. I don't think I would actually make that because that is like quite a low neck top and that is not at all my style. But like that sort of look, you know, like the poofy sleeves, the frilly collar, things like that. The Iris pullover is another one that caught my eye. Again, by Sophie and Velling. I don't think I said, did I say Augustine's #16, Sophie and Velling, or Augustine's? I don't know which one is the one to say. But that sort of thing, some sort of top that has details of like frills or a bow or like some puffs somewhere. I think that's just so fun. And it's really catching my eye right now. And the last sort of thing that has been catching my eye is a cardigan. I am not a cardigan wearer. I have some cardigans, but I really don't wear them. The two cardigans that I'm looking at are the, oh, this is not English, ARG cardigan from the Yarbo Ravelry store. It's by the designer Sigrid Marie Blom. It's just like a basic cardigan. It's tight fitting to the body, just basic. And I don't know, I don't have anything, I don't own anything like it. I've never worn anything like it really. But my sister just got a cardigan similar to this style and I thought it looked really cute. So I thought maybe I'll try and make one. Also, the Chantilly cardigan by Laura Penrose has caught my eye. Again, there's some like frilly things happening on the collar. I think it's so pretty. The kind of slightly puffed sleeve is so fun. Yeah, I love the details of this cardigan. Will I make it? I don't know. I just love the vibe of it. And just to kind of round out everything, I would love to maybe try to make a hat. I haven't made a hat before, I don't think, unless it was like a long time ago. I haven't made a hat before. I would love to make hats for my kids, maybe like matching hat and mitt sets. And that's about it. Some other socks. But yeah, I'll link the Ravelry bundle I have of that I made of my winter plans that has all of the patterns I talked about, plus a few extras that are just kind of like showing more of that vibe that I'm going for. Well, that is all for me today. Have a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you in the next video.